In this video, we're going to fix some termite damage and some rotted sill, and we're going to do it right now. Okay, the day is here, and I'm going to fix all of this mess. For those of you who haven't seen my two previous videos on this, I have termite damage, and I also have a rotted sill there. So I have to fix that rotted sill, jack this up, replace these joists, and run a new joist in here, all the way to here. So this is, I'm in the basement, this is the first floor, and this is basically dipping. Like I said, I did two videos on this previously. I'll leave them in the description. I'll leave a link to them in the description, and you can check those out. And we're just gonna tear right into this and make this better. Here we go. So first thing I want to do is support these right here. These are really the rotted joists. And in fact, if I do this, you can hear a lot of creaking. And I want to raise this up because this sill is rotted and I'm going to replace that. So first thing I'm going to do is get a support for this, but the oil tank's right here in my way. I can't put anything back here to raise it up, and right here is a little too far away. I want to be closer this way. So I'm going to build a contraption right here so I can jack this up here. But first I'm gonna take this water pipe and disconnect it from the joist and pull it back this way a little bit so I can work in there. That's what we're going to do right now. Okay, I got that pulled back and I temporarily connected it right there. So if I go to sawzall this or anything, I can just unclip it and drop it and whatnot. So now I'm gonna build my contraption here that I'm going to use to jack that up. So I need something really solid to sit here and to support right here so that I can jack up in the middle. And look what I found. This huge beam was just in a crawl space in my house. So I think that'll do. That looks pretty strong. Got my contraption built here. There's my little ball jack. And before I go jacking this up, because one of these is definitely all basically destroyed from termites, and I don't know how great the other one is right now. So I'm gonna start over here to try and take some of this load off here. And I want to get a joist from the sill all the way here. I'm going to cut this out. I'll support this here and then run it next to this 2x6, cut this piece out, and then sit it right on top of the main beam here. I'm going to move my contraption over a little bit so I can support right here. Let's see, this will work. I think it will. Before I do any of that, I'm gonna undo what I did in a previous video of fixing the squeaky floor by taking out all my lag bolts that I put in. I'll take this and I'm just gonna jack up this beam right here. push that up a little bit. Okay. I'll have to excuse the noise because the heat is going to kick on and off. I am in the basement and it's cold. So sneak this in here, something like that. Okay, make sure it's level. Drop this down. Okay. Now I can take my jack, and I think I have just enough room to put on this piece. Had I known I was going to do this, I would have made this more of a flat surface. But I think this will be okay, because when I go to start really pushing this up, I'm going to have my piece of 2x8 in here anyways, so I'm not concerned with it bouncing out. That piece right there, make sure that's level. Just get it tight. Okay, I got this beam here supported right here, so that's going to carry the load from here over. So when I cut this out right here, that won't go anywhere. These joists are fine. And then back here, I have that supported. It's not really necessary, but this is for when I go to put this joist in. I might need to jack that up. So I have that jack there. And then if you look down this way, the joist is going to go even with this piece, and then it's going to end up being even with this 2x6, and I'm going to nail the 2x8 into that going down this way. And I want to cut this and this out, so I'm just going to support this right here. I don't think there's going to be any weight on it really, but just in case, throw this 2x4 in there, and then I'll be able to cut this out and put my joist in up on top of that beam. Looks pretty good right there. Okay, I'm all set. I threw another piece in here just in case these two pieces aren't attached too well. Basically, when you do this, you got to think, okay, what am I trying to accomplish? I'm going to put a new piece in here to carry the load that's here with this weird framing, and just support the other side of that load while you cut this stuff out. Just be very careful if you're planning on doing this, or if you're just watching this, then that is why I'm doing this. I got this supported here on the other side of that load. So I'm basically, how this was attached over here, it's now in theory attached right here because it's supported right here. Same thing over here. Instead of it being supported by these joists, now it's just going to be shortened and it's supported with these. Hopefully that makes sense. So now I'm going to start by cutting out this big beam right here, from cutting these nails to cutting right down here. Wish me luck. You know what? Just in case, before I get all the way through, I'm going to throw another stud right here. Why not? Okay, I'm through that one. Now I'm moving down to here. Okay. That was hot. Heat pipe gets hot. Remember that. Okay, that's cut out. That's cut out. I got a clear shot for my joist to go all the way from the sill to the main beam in the house. And now I'm just gonna go along and get rid of things like this, like nails that are sticking out. I'll just either hammer them out or cut them. And things like that big nail right there. And I'm gonna leave that 2x4 up there. I'm just gonna butt tight to it. I don't wanna see what's behind there, to be honest with you. I think they just blocked that up because mice were getting in, is what I'm thinking. So I'll clean all that up and then I'll send my joist in here. Here's a little bonus tip for you. When you're installing lumber, probably more than 8 feet long, there's something called crowning. So if you say I'm, crowning my joist, if you take your joist and kind of raise it up and then look down the joist at this angle, it can be hard to see, but there is typically a crown. So it goes up like this, just a little. It's tiny for most boards. Sometimes you get big ones, sometimes you get small ones. So the reason you want to crown this is because you want to mark this so that the crown goes up, so that if there is any flex going down, you have the board being more even than if you put it opposite of the crown, because it's already bowing down a very tiny bit, but that makes a difference. So looking at this board, you can kind of see that this side goes like this. So this would be crown up, just like that. So when I install this, this is going to be the top and this is going to be the bottom. All right, just want this to stay in place. I don't have to mess with it anymore. I'm going to do a couple more of those on both sides. All right, it took some doing, but it is in there. And I got put some lags in here, mostly because I needed to pull the top this way because it was really tight getting it in there. And I definitely raised that up upstairs because my door is opening funny now, or closing funny. That should get fixed when we jack this up, and probably when I drop this, because it will drop a little bit because I really jacked that up higher than I needed to just so I could get that in. So once that sits down, that should fix the door issue a little bit anyways. I nailed into the existing framing because this stuff is still good. I also left this board here and nailed it and lagged it, so that'll help it sit on the sill. It'll give it more material to sit on the sill. So this is all tied together, and I'm gonna drop this thing and see what happens. This is the scary part because we're gonna hear cracks and pops, and I'm right under this thing and I kind of gotta climb in here to do it. So I'm gonna do it really slow. I'm gonna leave these in here for now. You can see I raised this up. These are loose, but I'll leave them here just as a peace of mind, I guess. So here we go. Drop this. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, it's dropping. These are still loose. This actually, all the weight came off of this. So now that's starting to tighten up. So more weight is being distributed over there now. This one too. That's tightening up, which is a good thing. Let's see. Still needs to drop more. Okay. That's it. Sitting there on its own now. These are still loose. So basically, that's all set. That's carrying the load. One joist down. Oh yeah, I would say they had a nice little home in here before. Oh, look at that. Is that termites or ants? I think that's termites. But you see, they've been evicted, so no more worries. But this piece was holding up this. So glad I'm doing this. That is crazy. Block is gone. Looks like got some damage up in here, the subfloor. That I'm gonna have to fix when I end up doing the upstairs remodel there. It'll be all right for now. Something interesting that I found. So I had a really hard time getting this joist in here, and I think I figured out why. So this old framing is interesting because this piece here is 7.5, a little stronger, 7 5/8. That one over there was less than 7 1/4. That's why I had such a hard time getting in here, because 2x8 is actually 7 1/4. And then this one is 7. So this is the way it was built. If you go over here, that one's 7 1/4. So it basically goes like this all over the place. So considering that's how it was built, I'm not going to change that, because once I start messing with that, then things get all screwy upstairs. So wherever it's sinking a tiny bit here, I can tell. But when I saw that water pipe, it was really drooped down. It's just because of the framing, because the framing is different sizes. I am not gonna mess with this old stuff. I am gonna leave it here, and I'm gonna put my new joist in on this side to start, so that I know I have good support here. Then I'll cut this out. I'll take these out, and I'm gonna put another joist on this side, and I'm gonna attach all of this with timber locks, and then I'm gonna jack it up, and I'm gonna replace that sill, and then I'll drop it down on the sill, and then I'm gonna be all set. That's gonna be way overkill for right here, I think. So that is my plan. Guys, I changed my mind again. So my original plan was to put another joist here all the way, and I am going to put another joist here. I'm going to take these 2x6 nailers off because they're barely on there anyways, but I'm going to leave this piece. This is just a really old piece of wood. Older wood is much stronger. It doesn't have any termite damage, and there's no weight on this thing. This was a just-in-case board, and I'm going to attach this joist to this, and then I'm going to put some big timber locks in this way to this, and then that way I don't have to disturb this piece because I don't want to have to cut that out or let it hang or anything, and then leave this here. So start the new joist here, go all the way, and have it sit on the sill. Two new joists on the sides of these would be way overkill. I think this is still overkill. I could probably just jack this up. This only needs one joist right here. It only had doubles because they framed this in after the stairway with these big pieces. So I'm not worried about it. This will make it a lot easier to get the joist in there too. It was a lot of work getting these ones in, but this will be much easier. I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to attach this all nice and strong, and we're going to go for it. Okay, we got nails, we got timber locks, both sides. So made this thing all one piece, and timber locked into this thing, and this thing is not going anywhere. Now the only thing left to fix is that sill. You can see putting these in, look how much this raised this up, because this was tight at one point, and even here raise that up a little bit. Everything's sitting on that beam, and I found out that the sill damage goes a little further this way, so I want to cut it out underneath this and support this as well, replace that sill. So these joists are good, that joist is good, but these ones not so much. So now we're gonna jack this up and cut that sill up. Okay, I have purposely over-engineered the crap out of a I don't know what you want to call it, to go on top of the jack, and this is going to raise. You see I added shims to make everything even. Even shimmed this thing and down here just to make everything even, make this level both ways. I don't have to jack it up right now to actually cut the sill. So I'm just going to leave this here as a just in case. I'll put a little weight on it. That's all I need. This is tight. And now I can cut here and on the other side of this joist. And I'm going to replace the sill underneath both of these so that they sit on something solid. Try and go nice and straight. Okay, there is nothing left of that. Let's see, let's get a piece out here. Oh my God. Oh, look at that, guys. Oh, wow. Oh, that's what I was hitting. It was one of the bolts that hold the sill on. That's interesting. Wow, that is just gone. I'm glad I decided to cut further back this way because there's nothing left of that. All right, I'll move back over to the other side. So at this point, before I cut this all the way down, I'm gonna jack this up. And I'm not gonna go up like a ton. I just need to take the weight off of this so I can, if there's even any weight on these things, so I can get these pieces out. I'm not gonna raise this up, so wherever it sits is where it's gonna sit when I'm done. I might even notch these old joists because yes, it sank, but upstairs it sank and then they did a bunch of other remodels upstairs, so I don't want to mess with that. Plus these joists are good and I'm already going up this way, so it just is what it is. I'm going to keep the floor where it's at, and I don't have any issues with the floor sinking upstairs. There's no real dips. There was just the squeaks, just because everything was kind of loose and bouncing. So here we go. I'm going to raise this up. All jacked up. There we go. Ooh, that's a good sign. That whole thing's moving. It means all the weight's off of that. Now, the tricky part. Getting this thing out of here. Well, it might not be that tricky, considering it's all rotted. Oh my God, look at that. Holy crap. Oh boy. And get these old nails out. Okay, that is the outside of the house right here. Besides the cracking and everything on the outside here, that actually looks good. So there's a concrete staircase on the other side of this, which, if this was bad, I would never be able to fix it anyways unless I chopped up the concrete stairs, which I wouldn't do. But that's nice that that's in good shape. and that's all sealed off out there now. I think what happened was the roof wasn't on above those concrete stairs before. You know, they added that afterwards, and that is the back door, and I have a feeling it just rained and got into underneath here, got this all wet, and then that invited the termites to come in and destroy this. That's probably what happened. This is legitimately like cardboard or foam. I can feel how not dense this is. It was sinking, so they put this in. Okay. So good news and bad news. Now that this sill is gone, we can see the damage. The good news is down this way, it looks like the damage stops pretty soon that way. However, on this side, it does not look that way, which is fine. I can handle repairing more of this, just doing it the same way as this. I'm gonna stop this video after I just support these two, because this video is pretty long as it is, and you get the idea. That's going to be done the same way this is. So now I can cut my sill and put it in there. My length is 34 7/8. This is my new sill. A piece of pressure treated 2x6, a piece of decking that is, I think, about 7/8 of an inch, and a KD piece of 2x6. Moment of truth. It's all in there. I haven't nailed it or anything, and it's as even as I think I can possibly get it. So I'm gonna drop the jack very slowly. Ooh, a little faster than I thought. Nice and easy. Okay. There's no weight on that jack. We're sitting on the new sill. So there you go. The jack is gone, and the joists are sitting on the new sill. Obviously, I need to fix that. I got my jack set up, ready to fix that, and I'm just gonna end the video here because it's the same way to do this, and this video is pretty long as it is. So here you go, finished product. Remember what it was like before. Very unsafe, very termite damaged, and now it's nice and solid. So there you go. This job ended up being a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but I'm glad that you guys were here to witness it. And if you want to see some of my other videos, you can click here and check out my links in the description to my Patreon page. Check out my Facebook and Instagram page, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, as always.